Good evening, everyone. I am Shraddha, the Senior Special Educator Mentor at Health Basics. First of all, I would like to thank you all for joining this interactive session about differentiated learning among our school going children. I would appreciate if you would switch on your video so that we it would be more interactive. And the other part is I would want you to be part of the interaction. It is not a one-sided. I am not here to deliver any kind of a lecture. I would want inputs. It's not just a learning for you. It's an learning for me as well. So I would appreciate if you would switch on the videos and anybody who wants to introduce or tell everybody about their background, it would be wonderful. Can we begin? Anybody wants to give an introduction about themselves, say something, what do you do? What is your background? Anybody wants to do it? Yes, ma'am. Sushila ma'am, I can see you smiling. You can start.
I am PGT Political Science in Rotary Public School.
Okay.
I have experience about 25 years I am here.
So you can actually take the session more than me actually doing it.
No, there is always a learning whenever you attend, especially that.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. There's a learning which all of us have to.
mm,
We all learn something every day from someone. That everybody has something to teach us. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Anju, ma'am, you want to say something? You're muted.
Yeah, well, I'm Anju Talwar. I'm in the same school, Rotary Public School, and I'm the headmistress there. And I've been teaching there for 31 years.
Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Shabana, ma'am, you want to say something? You're muted. Ma'am, you're muted.
Yes. Hi, good evening, Shraddha. Good evening, everyone. I'm Shabana, headmistress, working in Rotary Public Session.
Ma'am, we lost you in between. Was it only me or
All right, I'll repeat if I'm audible. Actually, right now I'm in a clinic right now. I'm Shabana, headmistress for Senior Wing Rotary Public School in PGT Clinic. Right, ma'am?
better? Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much you're here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Anybody else? Hi, Himani.
My name is Himani, and I'm an occupational therapist, and I am practicing in the same field since 8 years. Not like you, and I'm
Everybody starts from somewhere, Himani, so it's fine.
and I'm here to attend this knowledgeable session so that I can improve my knowledge.
Wonderful. Anybody else wants to say something? I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the topic says it all. The reason why we are here, differentiated instruction for diverse learners. Even before we go to this, what does this term actually mean? What do you understand from this? If anybody can tell me what this what bell does it ring in your mind when you say differentiated instruction for diverse learners? Even let's leave diverse learners, even differentiated instruction. What does that mean?
That we have special children these days, having
Okay.
special kind of difficulty areas they have. So we try to make children learn in their own way.
Okay.
Mm. And we all group of teachers, we are from the same school, and we have our special educator Sheetal Sami also.
Okay.
We all know each other.
Okay. So yeah, now I feel I am sitting in Rotary School and conducting this webinar. This is happening in the premises of Rotary School.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and we have our counselor and special educator in your school. Shweta, I think, is the counselor, and Shreya is the counselor, and Muskan is the special educator from Health Basics. Okay, anybody else who wants to say what you understand by differentiated instruction?
Hello, good evening, ma'am. This is Monica, working as a PRT in Rotary Public School. It means, I think, different methods for the according to the abilities of the students. How can we teach them according to their level, according to their understanding?
So, any examples? Okay, it's too early to even say that. Let's go back to the PPT and then we'll talk about it. Okay, we are done with the welcome part of it. Okay, I would like each one of you, since all of you have worked with children at some point of time, I would want to start with a quick activity. Each one of you think about a child or a student whom you have seen who was struggling, and maybe you helped the child in some particular way. You went out of the way to help the child and try to get the child on track or understand a particular concept, whatever it may be. I give you a minute to think about it, because at the end of this, we will talk about it and discuss that further. All done? Can we go further? Okay. Something to start with. What is the first thing that you see in this picture? You don't have to say it, just keep it in your mind. First thing that you saw in this whole picture. All done? So, what was the first thing that you saw here?
Butterfly.
Half
Okay.
apple and a butterfly.
Cut apple, butterfly, and moth was also there on the knife.
Okay, you need to tell me the first thing which you saw.
Butterfly.
Okay.
I saw symmetry.
Sorry?
Symmetry.
Symmetry. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else saw something else? Somebody saw the knife, somebody saw the worm.
Half cut apple in the shape of a butterfly, and symmetry was seen on it, and it was cleanly cut. At two
Okay.
shades, outer was red and inner was yellow, or we can say skin color, and it's very pretty.
Wonderful, ma'am. You are very observant, I must say that.
Thank you, ma'am. And my name is Vishri.
Yeah, Vijay Shri ma'am. Yeah. Anybody saw something else? As in, I don't know if any of you noticed there was a worm as well there.
Yes, ma'am. There was a caterpillar, I think.
Okay. And there was a
बहुत है
knife.
टोल ना. Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Let's see what that actually means. Okay, there you go. If you notice the apple, you subconsciously fear death. Sounds strange, but please hear me out. It's not the fearing the death of ourselves, it's the fear of losing the ones we love the most. Notice the caterpillar, you're terrified of ghosts and bad spirits. If you notice the butterfly, being betrayed by those you love terrifies you. Notice the knife, fear of terminal illness. This is not to scare you, just a thought before we go further. Can I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we did say this. What is differentiated instruction? It's a proactive approach to teaching where here the point what we have to focus or we need to keep in mind is it's not you learn the way I teach you, it's a student centered learning wherein if a particular child cannot learn the way we are teaching, we need to work on the way we teach and address the child's requirement. And of course, the webinar is all about differentiated instruction for diverse learners. But trust me, differentiated instruction works wonderful in a classroom as well. I know teachers are heavily loaded with work. You have your targets, you have your lesson plans, you have your work to be completed in a with a time frame. But trust me, this works with normal children as well in a classroom scenario. So you are flexible in terms of content, process, product, and learning environment. We're going to go into the detail of this. Is it required? Do you think differentiated instruction is required? Or can we just do away with it? Yes, ma'am. Anybody?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am,
Is
it's
it
required.
Why do you think it's required?
Ma'am, because every child have a डिफरेंट वे ऑफ लर्निंग मतलब हर एक बच्चा एक तरह से नहीं सीखता हर एक के सीखने का तरीका अलग होता है कोई बहुत ज्यादा विजुअल से या ऑब्जर्व करके सीखता है कोई बच्चा बहुत ज्यादा साउंड या ऑडियो मतलब सुनकर सीखता है बहुत सारा बच्चा कोई अलग अलग अपना सेंसेस को यूज करके हर एक का कुछ एक या दो सेंसेस अगर ज्यादा लर्निंग में इंडल्ज है तो हर एक बच्चा अपने अकॉर्डिंग ऐसे अलग तरह से सीखता है दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड
Okay. Anybody else? Is it really required?
Because yes, it is really required because we have mixed ability classes and every child's need are different. That is why to cater to different needs, our instructions should also be fitting to their requirements and needs.
It's as simple as before I say something, anybody has to say something to add on to this?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, every child has its own style and needs their own method. Style means some children learn by audio visual aids, some by kinesthetic methods like some are fast learners, some are slow learners. So we need to include these teaching methods in our profession.
Because
Absolutely.
learning styles of every child is also different, their needs are different. Some children are even having special needs. So that is why instructions have to be aligning with their needs.
Fair enough. This is like we make most of us cook, or we have support to cook at home. So a simple basic dal chawal that we make at home, everybody has their own preferences. Somebody wants it with tadka of garlic, somebody wants it spicy, somebody wants it less oily. So each one has their own likes and preferences. Similarly, when it comes to your classroom, all your children are unique. Each one has a different way of picking up things. So that's why differentiated instruction is actually required. Anybody else wants to add something here?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, ma'am. I have to include a point. By this
Yeah,
method, we can aid the child in the method they want, and we can also stimulate the other skills, other type of learning.
absolutely. So students differ in their readiness, interest, and learning profiles. We did talk about this. So this is required because it promotes inclusion, which is the need of the hour and which is something mandatory, and CBSE has put it on us and we cannot escape this. And for better academic outcomes. This ensures equity by giving all students access to quality learning experiences. If I can't learn the visual way, I do it the kinesthetic way. Maybe I like it as an audio. So we'll go into the details of all this. So basically, when it comes to differentiated instruction, there are four elements of this. One is the content, the second one is the process, then you have the product, and you have the learning environment. We're going to go into the detail of each one of it, and you will come up with examples as to how you can do differentiation in different areas. Content, the texts are at different levels. The level of difficulty, for instance, if you're doing a reading comprehension passage, the children who cannot comprehend up to the grade level will do a simple MCQ, or maybe will do with more of pictures. And then when it comes to process, they work independently, group work, or hands-on training. And product, the point in product is we are not looking at the memory, or we are not testing the memory of a child. When the child has learned a particular skill or has mastered a lesson, how do we check that? It could be through a poster, it could be a written report, or it could be just a verbal presentation. Learning environment, most of us have done this in our classrooms. Flexible seating, they are not children who are easily distracted are not near the window, they're closer to the teacher. And there are quiet corners and collaborative spaces where they work as a team. So these are the elements and the way it's handled in our classroom. So it's all there for you. The content is some for visual learners, you give a video. For article, you give an article to read for children who are good at reading. For kinesthetic children, kinesthetic ability, you give a diagram building, and somebody builds a model, somebody writes a story, somebody acts it out. So it differs up in the different ways: the content, the process, the product, and the environment. All these four can be differentiated as per the requirement, as per the level, and as per the skill of the child. Anybody has anything to add on here? Or somebody has to say that this is wrong and there's something to add against this? Can I go further?
Yes, please move on.
Okay, coming to the first part of it, which is content. You vary the material based on the readiness level. So it should be reading level actually. Use different text, videos, or audio formats. So the same content, for instance, we'll come to an example a little later, so to make things a little better for children who have that, who are these advanced learners. You give them something more challenging than what most of the class is doing, so that they are still focused and their urge to learn is still satisfied. You scaffold concepts for struggling students. You help them wherever required, and the support is withdrawn when the child is able to do things on their own. Like what I said, the reading material has to be at different levels. It could be just a picture, it could be a normal comprehension passage, or it could be a report where the child will write directly without even seeing anything. You provide summaries, visuals, vocabulary support. This was the content. Now we go to the process, how children learn. You have different pathways to explore the same concept. Different pathways could be a visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Your instruction strategies change. Out of the 30 odd children in our classroom, 10 may be visual learners, 10 may be kinesthetic, and 10 may be auditory. So when we prepare a lesson plan, it should include all these different areas. So you have peer work. We have done this usually. We usually, as special educators, we tell the teachers, or we recommend that there be a peer buddy, wherein a child who can complete the work and is quite independent will sit next to a child who's struggling to focus and complete the work. So that child will help. Once her work is done, she would be helping the child who's struggling to complete his or her work. So one group learns via a lab activity, another via a video or a worksheet. So these are examples. Any other example that you want to share about what has worked in your classroom before I go further?
We go for role plays also,
Okay.
and aesthetic.
Okay.
And students, they do make PPTs also. According to how students they enjoy the work we give them. We make activities in that manner.
This is the senior grades. You're talking about the senior grades.
Yeah, we are in.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah, good
sometimes
evening.
you said providing a study buddy for those students who are weak in studies works. Actually, sometimes the students don't agree to become a study buddy. So in that case, what are we supposed to do?
Change the child.
No, even nobody in the class is agreed.
Then there needs to be a complete sensitization about inclusion in the classroom, wherein children understand all that. And you should have you should have regular sessions with children and with parents as well, basically to sensitize the fact that somebody needs support and we are all there to help each other. There needs to be such kind of sensitization which happens, and probably you could provide some kind of a positive reinforcement for a child who supports, an appreciation, extra star, some kind of a reinforcement. I wouldn't suggest chocolates or any kind of physical gifts, but I would say maybe the class applauds the child who supported the child who was struggling to complete the work.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Something like that.
Okay.
I think Aishwarya raised her hand. Aishwarya, you want to say something?
No,
mine. I haven't.
Sorry?
I haven't raised mine.
Okay. Anybody else wants to say something before I proceed? Okay, then we go to the product. How students show what they have learned. This is something very important for us because all of us believe, or rather, we are conditioned to believe that exams or the normal assessment that we do or we conduct in our schools is the right way of assessing our children. I don't think that's right 100%, because you can always show students choose how to demonstrate what they have understood. Our idea is to check if the child has understood the concept. For instance, if I have to speak about simple addition, I want to know whether the child has understood the concept of addition. It is not whether he is able to do, how quick, how much can he remember. No, that's not the thing. So idea is you have to check the level of understanding through different ways. It can be done in different ways. When you say expectations based on ability, where the other children or considering the class of 30, 20 children or 25 children are able to do 10 addition sums in a period of 40 minutes, but then my special needs child is able to do only 4, is still okay. The reason being, the child is able to do all the 4 correctly, and I can sense that the child has understood the concept. It is not the number of sums that the child will be able to do, but the core goal is not changed. The goal is to know whether the child has understood the concept of addition. Yes, he has, because he's able to solve those 4 sums accurately. You use rubrics tailored to different product types. They make a poster, they have a role play, like ma'am said, you have a role play. They make a PPT, they have a comic strip, whatever it is, it gives the creative ideas where the child is able to express himself or herself as per their comfort zone. Tiered tasks with varying complexity, like what I said, instead of doing 10, we do only 4. Anybody wants to add something, or something which you have tried in your class and which has worked, so that even we can learn about it? Anybody who has tried or want to add something about how you have worked with the children, whether when it comes to testing or assessing the learning of the child? Okay, the next one is your learning environment, where and when, with whom the children learn. So you have flexible spaces like what we were talking about to support focus, movement, and collaboration. Movement is basically for our ADHD children, who especially who cannot sit in a place for a long time. You give them short breaks every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes. Let them move around. Then you consider the lighting, noise level, seating, and student choice. Lighting is, there are children who are sensitive to either light or to noise. So we need to keep that in mind when we are creating an environment for learning with our children. So you have your quiet reading zones, interactive group areas, allow headphones for noise sensitive learners, display work and culturally responsive material. Okay, now coming to the fact, we've been talking about a diverse learner. So we did what is differentiated instruction. Who is a diverse learner? Who do you think is a diverse learner? Who all come under a diverse learner?
The whole class. The students,
Whole
they have their
class.
own way of learning. Yeah. Every student has
Yes,
his or her own way of learning.
wonderful. Actually, I love that concept of saying the whole class.
No, no, we have ACs.
Yes.
Children like to turn the curtains on, so there is darkness in the class. But then it is their sleeping mode if there is darkness in the class. We have to. I
All are
generally go
diverse learners.
and all are diverse.
That's so wonderful to accept everybody as a diverse learner. But officially, anybody else? Vijayshri ma'am, you were saying something. Sorry.
No, ma'am, we all are learners. Like we also learn from students. Students, we also learn the creative ways from students. And obviously, we focus on the environment and the better
What I said,
weather.
learning has no age. All are diverse learners.
I think
Ma'am, I think each class has diverse learners because there are fast learners, slow learners, average learners. So we all have in our classes.
In fact, as teachers and facilitators, I think we are also diverse in our own way. We also come in that category. It's not just a child with specific learning disability, child with learning ADHD, or a child with or a child on the spectrum that is autism. It's not just them. I think everybody, all of us, are also there, all as diverse learners. What say?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Suman.
Okay, well,
Ma'am, what I believe that every individual is different. So since every individual is unique and has a different personality trait, so every student is a diverse learner and we also are in the same category, ma'am.
yes, all of us are diverse. It's so the world is such a wonderful place if everybody accepts that we are all diverse from each other.
See, we learn from the students only how to teach them.
Yes, absolutely. If the child cannot learn a particular way, we change the way. It's not my way or the highway.
We keep on testing.
Yes,
Okay.
every day is a new learning. Maybe we go with the lesson plan to the class, but then the whole thing has to change according to the child. So we have plan B, plan C ready with us to change the moment the plan A is not working. So diverse learner officially could be somebody with special needs, that's your learning disabilities, dyslexia, dysgraphia, ADHD, autism, physical or sensory impairments. Even your gifted and talented learners are also diverse learners. Students from different cultural or socio-economic backgrounds and with different learning styles. Okay, so we go to the profile which we were talking about. A child can be a visual learner who learns through diagrams, charts, and videos. You show it to me as a diagram, I would remember it the best. Auditory, prefer discussion, listening to lectures, music. Kinesthetic is somebody who thrives with movement, hands-on task. Read, write, who benefit from reading and writing. Now, how many of you think you are visual, you are kinesthetic, you're auditory? What kind of learner do you consider yourself as?
Visual, ma'am. Visual is the thing which we can
Okay.
remember for long time. Visual.
That's your strength. This is your strength.
And that's to colored one. These children, because they are used to colors, so it has to be colored one.
I still
Any
remember.
flashy billboard that we see? Oh, sorry, somebody was saying something.
No, nothing. I was just sharing. I still remember color of copper sulfate crystals. We used to do practical in lab. I still remember my college days. How beautiful blue color that is. Chemistry teacher is there in our meeting. The visuals we remember for a long time.
So any billboard or anything which we see at a traffic signal, it has lots of colors, definitely attracts our attention. So the moment we see it in that colorful form, it gets registered easily. The file is stored here. Anybody wants to add something?
See, we were used to black and white blackboard. Okay, as the generation are changing, they are having mobiles, color phones, everything is colored. So when we teach them, it has to be colored one, so that they can learn better.
Ma'am, we need to keep upgrading and updating ourselves. Don't we update our iPhones regularly, or any phones? Don't we update our phones regularly?
नहीं, आज का बच्चा black and white नहीं समझ में आएगा. They don't understand. It is difficult for them to learn.
Yes, it is. We need to go to their level and teach. Now we are already having, of course, not in school. We have the Gen Beta already. We may be teaching Gen Alpha.
The help of performing arts also. They learn a lot.
Play role. No, role play. Performing arts.
Performing arts.
It is better. नहीं, ये भी कर सकते हो ना. Learning by doing, you give them something and they do it. And we all are basically senior teachers here, I think. छोटे बच्चे वाले होंगे.
Appreciate the fact that आप लोगों ने इतने सालों में you have seen the change in trend. I am still a baby in front of you.
नहीं. All have different experiences. सबके अपने अपने experience.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are learning from you, your experiences.
Everybody is learning, ma'am. Even I am learning. I personally, if you ask me, I am a person who loves to read and write. The moment I used to write, I would learn a concept faster, or rather, I would retain it in my head.
It is our childhood, how we are brought up as a child.
Yes. So even the interest of the child incorporate the student choice. The reason why I am talking about this is we have our autistic children on the spectrum, and they could be fixated with a particular subject. For instance, a child may be liking cars. He may be having a fascination for cars. So any topic that you teach, as in even basic counting, teach him with the different cars. So then he would be interested and he would pick up the concept. So we have to make use of the interest of the child. and real life scenarios. Trust me, ma'am, you people, you are all senior to me. You will agree that I don't know about you. I have to share a point here. As a child, when I was taught the maths concepts of the big and small, or rather the crocodile's mouth for the bigger number, uh, put the arrow for the bigger number, I would not know which side to put it as a kid. कभी कभी इस साइड लगाती थी, बोर हो गया तो इस साइड लगा दिया, हो गया काम खत्म. But today, after I came into this field, I understand that there's a crocodile's mouth which is going to eat up the bigger number. So when you teach concepts like this, trust me, it makes so much of a difference. Anybody has any other points to share? Okay, then it goes into your planning and implementation in your classroom scenario. This is one part of it which is very important. Know your students' readiness, interests, understand their learning profiles. You have your objectives cut and clear. Objectives are given by your HMs, your coordinators, and your CBSE board, but we have our own personal objectives when it comes to certain children. And we choose areas to differentiate. When it comes to our different children with diverse needs, we need to understand what can be differentiated. Is it just the content, just the process, or all of them? It depends on each child. Each child is unique, and this has to be done looking at the need and the level of the child. And then you group strategically, flexible, sometimes mixed, interest based. You have your assessments to guide the instructions. Okay, a quick deviation. What do you see in this picture? And I would want you to say what is the mistake in the picture. Do you want to look at the picture again?
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be a quick 10-second show. I'm not sharing it for a long duration. Whatever you see, if you find something wrong with the picture, just keep it in your mind. Let's not say it. Okay, can anybody tell me what was the error in the picture? Yes? Anybody found anything wrong in the picture? Nothing? Surprising. The picture was fine? Am I
Ma'am, can you
audible?
please show the picture again?
Okay. Nothing wrong?
Ma'am, what we have to look in the picture that it is right or wrong.
Ma'am, the water is coming out
Water
from
is
the
only flowing
picture.
on
Water is
one
not showing
side.
at the back.
Yes, that's
Water
not
is
there
high.
in
The
the
other
picture.
side water is not flowing.
Absolutely. I just was checking how focused each one of you are. That's the reason this picture came out in between. Okay, now we go to a case study. So we have this grade 5 teacher who has implemented differentiated instruction to teach a science lesson on the water cycle. Before I actually give her way of implementation, how do you think you can help, or how can you implement differentiated instruction in the classroom with this topic?
Using diagrams.
Okay.
We could ask them to make a poem
Okay.
of water cycle.
Okay.
Showing a picture.
Wonderful.
Ma'am, we can do a role play based on the topic water cycle
Okay.
with
Very good.
characters, with pictures, so that it will be useful for the visual learner as well as they will understand the concept also to the other learners.
Wonderful.
Different type of clays to make a different model so that it is like very easy for them to understand, and it is very easy to know that how things are made and done.
Great. Anybody else has any other points? I think we have summed it all. Just have a look
Interactive
at what
class.
it is.
Interactive class.
Yes, interactive class. Her class includes 20 students with 3 special needs students. Rahul has ADHD and struggles with attention. Alexa has dyslexia and finds reading challenging. Siri is on the spectrum and prefers visual learning. So, how would you implement your instruction for these 3 areas if I have to ask you specific now? For instance,
You can ask for them a real-time example we have to take now, how rainfall happens. We can have a discussion.
Okay. Okay, let's see what Mr.
Shiri will be asked to explain by scene. Alexa will be asked to draw the diagram as in reading challenging. And Rahul,
There
another
is a
will
lot
be
of,
asked to
sorry,
explain.
there is a lot of noise. If somebody has opened, still has opened the mic on, please switch it off because that's creating a lot of noise. Thank you,
Unless you're
sorry.
speaking, you can keep yourself on mute, please.
As per Shiri is concerned, she prefers visual learning, so she will be asked to explain by seeing that diagram, her strong point. And Alexa, she has with dyslexia, find reading, she will be asked to draw the diagram by understanding it. And same with the Rahul, she will be also asked to be more interactive and give the answers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else has to add something to this?
Ma'am, for Rahul, we can choose the video method. We can show him the video or involve him in a role play. For Alexa, storytelling will be the great. And for Shri, I think poster making or showing her pictures will be the great.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's see what she came up with. Miss Priya started with a brief video explaining the water cycle to engage all the students. She then divided the class into three groups based on their learning needs. Rahul joined a hands-on activity group where students created a water cycle model using common materials, allowing him to move around and stay engaged. Alexa worked with a group using simplified text and graphic organizers to help her understand and summarize the process. She received additional support from a teaching assistant. Ansiri joined a group that focused on drawing and labeling diagrams. I think we went through this. All the points were discussed even before we came to Miss Priya's lesson plan. Anything more to add to this? Okay, so coming to the theory part of it, how do you present your lessons in various ways? Like we already said, visual, audibly, and through hands-on activities, caters to the different learning styles and beneficial for special needs students. And it engages multiple senses, which enhances learning for everybody. You can watch a video, present visuals, diagrams. The older kids can even make a PPT, make a presentation, can have a skit. However it works, you can teach vocabulary in the form of an active game where your students will race to arrange the jumble letters. I'm talking about the kids of the younger grades. Hands-on activities, we know learning by doing. This is where hands-on activities come in. Some lessons are easier to learn when you're practicing it. Do you think a mechanic learns to fix a car just by watching a YouTube? Unless he has to do it, apply the techniques in real life. You speak of concrete examples, which we have been speaking on, as in when you're teaching addition or basic concepts, you have beads or money. When you're teaching money to our children, you have real coins and real currency, and you bring rocks when you're discussing geology. So this makes abstract concepts easier. You break down lessons into small chunks, chunking. The big thing is broken into smaller bits, especially for children suffering from ADHD. You can have them learn small bits of it where they understand the material better. And you break down a complex problem in a mathematical classroom into simpler steps. Before we go to classroom implementation, anything, any kind of an implementation that you have done and which has worked for your children, if anybody wants to share? Yes, Vidya?
Ma'am, I have personally shared the role play thing with the concept of geography in my previous job, where I made them stand with the chart with each. I have a diverse learners, that is autism and intellectual disability, and I included everyone who and all were able to stand. I made them to hold the chart. Who and all were like not able to move, I made them put a chair and I made them a small picture of Earth surrounding by all the layers of atmosphere. Like that, I made the concept.
Wonderful.
And I like a small thing I did, ma'am, and it was very memorable. Still, I remember that play. That's what correctly when you said I told role play because it worked for them. And
if you remember so well, imagine how much the children must have been missing you, and they remember this. This must be etched in their brains.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any kind of an activity you have done and it has been really wonderful?
So, ma'am, good evening. Before our summer vacation starts, we had a storytelling activity in our class. It was English and a Hindi storytelling. The kids really enjoyed, and in the parent-teacher meeting, the parents came and they were really excited to tell us that how were the kids reacted when they went home, and they told us the story, and the parents really appreciated the stories which we narrated over there. We acted, we danced, we did a role play, and it was really very well appreciated by the parents and the kids.
Great. Anybody else wants to add to their experiences?
Ma'am, for the senior students, as they are very eager to see the movies, so we can, I have used certain movie clips to explain them. For example, for explaining the drawbacks of the barter system, I have shown them the clips of Mohenjo-daro film, in which the Hrithik Roshan is selling his product for the other product. And he can't sell that product until and unless the other buyer is requiring that product. It was a problem of double of coincidence of want. So it was a thing which can impact the mind of a student, that yes, that was a practical problem of the barter system and how money was evaluated.
Great, sir. That's amazing. Actually, I should come to Rotary. Sir, are you part of Rotary as well?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Then I should be visiting Rotary. I stay close to Rotary School. I should be visiting the school soon. Because there's so much to learn from Rotary School for me.
Same thing if you see the movie Lagan. If you see the movie Lagan, they are praying for raining. So I always tell that never sing a song to bring a rain. It is an orthodox type of irrigation. Rain never comes from singing. They sing na mega ah mega ah. The rain never comes from singing. It's an orthodox type of irrigation which they were following, which has to be redeveloped. That is the problem of irrigation facilities in India.
Ma'am, I'm coming to school. Once you're back, all your children are back and all teachers are back in school, I'm coming to Rotary School.
No, ma'am, it is not only. We have an inclusive teaching and learning for the students. So the students, though, are suffering from any problem by birth. This time, one child, she cleared with 83%. We give special subjects to those children. Music, dance, painting.
The CBSE
English.
accommodation as per the assessment.
Yeah.
With the disability certificate.
So we have some children, 3-4 children in 6 to 12 batch, and they are doing.
Ma'am, to explain the concept of profit and loss, once we had some virtual shops and the children sold certain items and then purchased some items. So from that experience, they learned how what is profit, what is loss, and all that. The concepts were very clear from that activity.
After that, you don't need to do
I
any
also
kind of
want to add, in Samvid 2.0, we performed Kathak with mathematics. And it was an inter-school competition and many schools participated. And wonderfully, beautifully, they presented and they coordinated maths with dance, Kathak, in which they learned a number of topics of mathematics like symmetry and arithmetic progressions and shapes and geometry, 3D, and lots. So Kathak was presented in the form of mathematics, and the song was also that was amazing.
Ma'am, all math teachers, they are using yoga poses also to explain type of polynomials. We all are doing this activity also.
Yes, ma'am. And as I also want to add that, and we also focus on the weather, like in the month of December, when students really like to go to ground, and when they learn maths by doing making postures or yoga postures and all, they really enjoy it and learn a lot. So, ma'am, in this way, we perform assemblies in our school, every class performs assemblies. A topic is given to them, and
We
like
perform interdisciplinary activities.
interdisciplinary
Even we
activities.
are performing nukkad nataks and
Yes,
stage shows, everything in the school itself.
uh, where they really learn how to save environment and how to salute the armed forces and many.
We celebrate, yes, yes. We
We celebrate.
celebrated Green Diwali this year.
Yes.
We celebrated Earth Day. We asked students to plant herbs, trees, to ask them to make a kitchen garden in their homes. And even we are doing the same activities in the school also.
So wonderful to hear that.
Thank you. Ma'am, this is just a part, a little bit which we all are able to explain you, and beyond that also we do a lot. Like,
I told you I am coming to school.
ma'am, we will be.
You are most welcome. We have our Samvid 4.0 ahead. Then we have our interdisciplinary weeks also. You are most
I'm
welcome.
inviting myself to your school. I'll be there once the school reopens in the month of July. Okay, not much that I have to talk about since you are experts in the field. How to implement? Again, going back to the water cycle, there are three groups of children in the class. One is below grade level who uses simplified text with visuals and graphic organizers. Group B will read the grade appropriate non-fiction text and answer the questions. And Group C, who are the high performers, analyze a scientific article on climate impact on the water cycle. So this supports your varied reading skills while achieving the same objective. We are doing the same water cycle for the entire class, but it's at different levels. These are certain examples of how we can differentiate content, process, or even the product. Maths, this is something which I love. Symmetry, you have already given me better examples. Visual learners use pattern blocks, folding paper. Kinesthetic creates symmetry using handprints. Auditory learners listen to a story and discuss where symmetry appeared in the environment. Engages learners through their preferred sensory modalities. You have done much beyond all these things when it comes to your Kathak performance. So when it comes to writing, each one writes again the group A, B, and C. They write different at different levels. Group 1 may write a descriptive paragraph. One group may create a visual poster. The third one may record a short audio or a video. So here again we are giving a choice in their demonstration, as in giving the differentiation by product. Okay, so I think we are done with this. By differentiating the curriculum through the content, process, and product, you can create an inclusive, effective learning, which I think Rotary School is doing more than what is required. And we know that these strategies help every student has the opportunity to learn and succeed. It's not about making small adjustments to meet the diverse needs in your classroom. It's just simple changes that we are doing without making a big difference in the core goal of ours. Something which you can see and tell me. You're going to have to change to fit into the system. How about changing the system? This is what we need to do with our children. If your way doesn't work, we go to the way the child can understand or respond to. Anything that you want to tell me, you want to add on, your questions, your thoughts, we would appreciate that. Yes, Vidya?
Ma'am, one help I need, ma'am. If we are doing like diverse learners concept for pre-KG or something, what type of things, how we have to proceed? Like how we should generally give the concept or how to help them? Like 2.5 to 4 years.
What kind of, it depends on what kind of concept, that is your content, what you want to help the child with. If you're helping with alphabet
Okay, ma'am.
sound, you can have the
Okay.
board which has the different grooves of the alphabets. Take off all the alphabets, the child puts the finger there, it's a kinesthetic way of doing it. The same board, you have those
Okay.
wooden boards with the pegs of numbers and letters, colorful ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Pick up the
Yes, ma'am.
alphabet and you put it. So there you take off all the alphabets, let the child run his or her finger there so that it's a kinesthetic way. The same board can be
Okay.
used as a visual thing where you see and teach.
Okay.
You
Fine.
can even show some videos. This is when it comes to teaching
Sure.
your alphabets. And if you have to
Okay.
teach basic colors, because that stage you won't even, I don't even know whether you've reached the alphabets or the phonics. So there you
Yes,
could
ma'am.
even speak about different colors. A yellow
Okay.
bead, a red bead, a blue something in the room. Pick up
Yes,
what
ma'am.
color is your shirt. You could
Okay,
work
ma'am.
with what is there around.
Fine, ma'am. I
And big and
understand.
small, you can show an elephant and a picture of an elephant, picture of a mouse, which is big. So visually, the child is seeing something. Maybe you can have
Okay.
two different objects of different sizes. A small water
Okay,
bottle and
ma'am.
a big water bottle.
Okay, ma'am.
Whatever you do it in a concrete way. You can use different ways of doing it. You can go to the ground. If you have
Yes,
mats in
ma'am.
the
Yes.
room, since it's a Montessori place, if you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
mats in the room, you can hop on yellow mat, hop on green mat. So you're teaching
Yes,
colors to
ma'am.
the
Yes.
child.
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
So
I understand, ma'am.
the list is endless, and there is no end to
Okay.
being creative.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Fine.
there's
I
nothing
understand.
right, nothing wrong or right in this whole system. It's all
Fine, ma'am.
your
Fine.
way and the way the child can understand, because you are the one who works with the child. So you know best
Yes,
what
ma'am.
works for the child.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else who wants to share their thoughts? No questions? No thoughts? Okay. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining the webinar. It was a wonderful session for me to learn. I learned so much from all of you. Thank you so much and appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. We also learned
Thank you,
few
ma'am.
things. When
Thank
I
you,
make
ma'am.
the
Thank you
report,
so
no,
much,
then I'll
ma'am.
come.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You can all leave the meeting now.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I shall wait till all of you exit the meeting.